Welcome back to Talklish, your favorite podcast for B2 English listening practice that helps you learn real English for real life. I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host. Today we're talking about something fundamental, something that shapes our reality and our potential.
Absolutely. Do you ever get stuck in a cycle of negative thoughts or feel like your own mind is your biggest obstacle? Today on Talklish, we're talking about the power of positive thinking. It's not magic, it's a skill, and we'll show you how to start changing your mindset for a more optimistic and productive life, all while boosting your B2 English listening.
That's right, because your mindset truly influences everything, from your mood to your motivation to learn English.
We all have good days and bad days, but sometimes our thoughts can make a situation feel much worse than it really is, almost amplifying the negativity.
Negative thinking can feel like a heavy, dark cloud that follows you around. It affects our mood, our relationships, and even our ability to try new things or push past challenges, like practicing English.
But here's the key point. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about approaching challenges with a different, more constructive perspective.
It's about controlling your internal conversation, your self-talk, even when things are difficult or stressful.
This isn't about being happy all the time, which is an unrealistic expectation. It's about building mental resilience and finding constructive ways to think and respond to life's ups and downs.
Changing your mindset is definitely a journey, not a final destination. And the exciting part is that it starts with small conscious steps anyone can take.
That's right. So let's dive into our first step towards harnessing this power, recognizing negative thoughts.
The first step is always awareness, isn't it?
Exactly. The first step to genuinely positive thinking is to simply recognize and identify your negative thoughts. Many of us aren't even fully aware of our internal dialogue. It's just like background noise in our minds.
So it's about becoming more mindful of what's happening in your head.
Precisely. When you feel low, stressed, or overwhelmed, pause for a moment and consciously ask yourself, what am I actually thinking right now? Give that mental chatter your attention.
And then, once you identify the thought, question it. Are these thoughts actual facts, or are they just your interpretations, your fears, or assumptions?
Exactly. Identifying a negative thought is like shining a light on it. It loses some of its power when you bring it out into the open. It becomes less intimidating.
This doesn't mean you should judge yourself for having these thoughts. It means observing your thoughts, almost like watching clouds pass by in the sky. They're there, but they don't define you.
That's a fantastic way to put it. It's about observation, not self-criticism. Now, for a quick pattern interrupt, think for a moment. When was the last time a negative thought truly held you back from doing something you wanted to do?
I can definitely think of times where my internal dialogue was so strong and negative that it prevented me from even trying. It's like your own self-talk creates this invisible barrier.
It's that mental chatter that can really get in the way. But by recognizing it, you've taken the first crucial step.
Moving on, once you've identified those thoughts, the second step is to learn to reframe your perspective.
This is where you actively challenge and change how you see things. Reframing means looking at the same situation, the same problem, from a completely different angle.
So, instead of getting stuck on the negative interpretation, you consciously try to find another way to view it.
Exactly. For example, instead of thinking, I always fail at this, you could reframe it to, what can I learn from this experience? It shifts from self-blame to growth.
Or, instead of saying, this is impossible, I can't do it, you might try, what is one small step I can take right now to move forward?
This isn't about being unrealistic or pretending difficulties don't exist. It's about actively finding opportunities, solutions, or simply a less discouraging way to view the situation.
A problem seen from a different perspective often looks less daunting, less overwhelming. It becomes a challenge rather than a dead end.
Even in the most difficult situations, there is usually something positive, however small, that you can acknowledge or learn from. It might take effort to find it, but it's often there.
That's so true. If you made a mistake while speaking English, for instance, instead of saying, I'm terrible at this, I'll never learn, you could reframe it to, that's a new mistake. Now I know what to improve next time. I'm learning.
Exactly. That shift in perspective can make all the difference in your motivation and your learning journey.
Our third key to building a positive mindset is something quite powerful: practicing gratitude.
This is one of my favorites. Gratitude is simply the act of being thankful for the good things in your life, no matter how big or small they might seem.
And it seems so simple, but it has a profound effect, doesn't it?
It really does. When we spend too much time focusing on what we don't have, what's missing, or what's going wrong, we often feel sadness, dissatisfaction, or even anger.
But when we deliberately focus on what we do have, on the blessings in our lives, it immediately shifts our emotional state towards contentment and appreciation.
This doesn't mean you ignore your problems or challenges. It means you also acknowledge the good things that are present, creating a more balanced perspective.
And it can be for such simple things: a warm cup of coffee in the morning, a sunny day, a good conversation with a friend, or even just having access to a podcast like Talklish to learn English.
Exactly. Making a habit of gratitude can literally rewire your brain over time to notice more positive things in your daily life. It changes your default setting.
For a moment, take a quick pause. What are 3 small things you are genuinely grateful for right now, in this very moment?
Think about it. It could be anything. A comfortable chair, the sound of birds outside, simply having the time to listen to this podcast. It truly does shift your focus. If you're enjoying this kind of B2 English listening practice and finding these insights helpful, please remember to subscribe to Talklish. We create English lessons around real-life topics like developing a positive mindset so you improve your listening, expand your vocabulary, and learn useful ideas at the same time. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube. All right, let's move on to our fourth point, which emphasizes the influence of our surroundings. Surround yourself with positivity.
This is so true. Our environment has a huge and often underestimated impact on our mindset. The people we spend time with, the content we consume, it all shapes our thinking.
So this means actively choosing positive influences?
Precisely. It means choosing positive people, positive content, and engaging in positive activities. Think of it as curating your personal ecosystem.
Because if you spend most of your time with people who constantly complain, who are always negative, it's incredibly difficult to stay optimistic yourself. Their energy can be contagious.
And similarly, if you only consume negative news or spend hours scrolling through social media full of criticism and comparison, it can fill your mind with worry, anxiety, and doubt.
So it's about making conscious choices to counter that. Actively choose to spend time with people who inspire you, who support your goals, who make you laugh.
Read uplifting content, listen to motivational podcasts, yes, like Talklish, and engage in hobbies and activities that genuinely make you feel good and energized.
This isn't about escaping reality or living in a bubble. It's about creating an emotional buffer against the inevitable negativity that exists in the world. It protects your mental space.
It's about filling your cup with positive influences so you have more to give, both to yourself and to others.
Our fifth and final point reminds us that positive thinking is not just internal, it's about taking positive action.
Absolutely. Positive thinking is a powerful start, but it's not the complete picture. Acting positively is what truly turns those thoughts and intentions into reality.
So it's about bridging the gap between thought and deed.
Exactly. If you think, I want to learn English better, the positive action is to actually sit down and study for 15 minutes or listen to an English podcast.
If you think, I want to feel healthier, the positive action is to go for that short walk or choose a piece of fruit instead of a sugary snack.
Even the smallest actions create momentum. They send a signal to your brain that positive change is happening, and it reinforces your positive mindset.
And this action builds confidence. Each small success proves to yourself that you are capable of making positive changes.
Don't wait for the perfect feeling of motivation to arrive before you act. Often, you take one small positive step, and the feeling of motivation and positivity will follow.
So, what is one positive action you can take today, no matter how small, towards a goal you have, perhaps even your English learning goals?
Think about it. Just one small step can start a powerful chain reaction.
And to illustrate some of these concepts in action, let's listen to a short, real-life mini dialogue. This part is great for retention and hearing these ideas in a natural context. I'm really worried about this English exam next week. I just know I'm going to fail.
Hey, let's reframe that. Instead of fail, what's one small thing you can do right now to prepare?
Well, I could review the vocabulary from last week's Talklish lesson.
Perfect. And think about how far you've come already. You understand so much more now than you did a month ago.
That's true. I hadn't really thought of it like that. I guess I'm making progress.
Exactly. And let's practice some sentences together now. Take positive action.
Okay, let's do it. Notice how person B immediately helps to reframe the negative thought into a positive, actionable step. This is the power of a supportive perspective and consistently taking small steps forward.
It makes a huge difference to move from worrying to doing.
All right, let's quickly review some useful expressions and vocabulary from today's lesson. These are all B2 level and will be super helpful for your English.
First up, internal dialogue. This refers to the conversation you have with yourself inside your head. For example, my internal dialogue used to be very critical, but I'm working on making it more positive.
Next, reframe your perspective. This means to change the way you look at a situation or problem to find a different viewpoint. It's helpful to reframe your perspective when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Then we have practice gratitude. This means to regularly think about and appreciate the good things in your life, whether big or small. I try to practice gratitude every morning by listing 3 things I'm thankful for.
An important one is uplifting content. This refers to media like books, videos, or podcasts that make you feel happy, hopeful, or inspired. Listening to uplifting content helps improve my mood.
We also talked about an emotional buffer. This is something that protects you from negative feelings or experiences, or reduces their impact. Surrounding yourself with positive people acts as an emotional buffer.
And finally, take positive action. This means to do something constructive or beneficial, especially after thinking about it or setting an intention. Don't just think about it, take positive action towards your goals.
Let's try some quick practice lines using these phrases. Repeat them after us to get that pronunciation down.
My internal dialogue used to be very negative. Pause for listener to repeat.
She helped me reframe my perspective on the challenge. Pause for listener to repeat.
Practicing gratitude can significantly improve your mood. Pause for listener to repeat.
Excellent. Incorporating these phrases into your active vocabulary will really boost your confidence in English when discussing mindset and personal well-being.
So, to recap everything we've discussed today about harnessing the power of positive thinking.
You recognize negative thoughts.
You reframe your perspective.
You practice gratitude.
You surround yourself with positivity.
You take positive action.
Remember, your mindset is not fixed. It's like a garden you can cultivate, and with consistent effort, you can grow a more positive, resilient, and optimistic outlook on life.
If this lesson helped you feel more confident about understanding and cultivating a positive mindset and boosted your English listening, write this in the comments. I choose a positive mindset. That sentence alone is great English practice for you.
And if you want more B2 English listening practice about real life, mindset, confidence, and communication, make sure you subscribe to Talklish wherever you get your podcasts or on our YouTube channel. Keep learning with us.
Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to helping you improve your English again soon.
Bye for now.